Hey everyone, it's Gary again, and we're nearing the end of this 2-week pre-launch period for the Busy Runner. Over this last couple of weeks, it's come up a number of times in my thinking and about the two different, apparently different worlds that I'm involved in. One being sort of distance running and triathlon, and then this world of sort of online business. And at first glance, you might not necessarily you might think that they're actually worlds apart, that they're two completely different things. But the more I think about it and the more I sort of study and sort of educate myself around the sort of like the tools and the mindsets and that kind of thing that are required for online business, there's actually a lot of striking similarities. Now, if I actually think back to, I don't know, what was it, like 2012, and I first put out online, I sort of gave voice to an ambition to become fit enough to actually complete a marathon. And the reactions online were a bit mixed. I mean, they were actually mostly supportive. I think there were a few people sort of like were a bit shocked. And that really was a bit of a declaration that marked the start of a journey that ultimately was filled with challenges, setbacks, but ultimately achieving what I set out to achieve. Now, I mean, that's got incredible parallels to the sort of the entrepreneurial online business journey. Perhaps that in the mode that I've been doing, it makes it even more similar because I've put it out online. So this is what I'm doing. But the actual those obstacles and challenges and setbacks, etc., I mean, they exist in both worlds. So it's bringing back a lot of good memories, actually. But yeah, if you actually break it down, when you look at say with a marathon, you start or similar endurance sport, you start off with a goal in mind. And then you you have this vision and you have a dream, and then you have to set about working out how to actually go from where you are to where you actually want to be, and that's really no different to online business. I mean, if you actually think about the steps, I mean, there's training and preparation. If we, you wouldn't run a marathon without training. Well, I do know people that have, but I certainly wouldn't attempt it. I think I'd be in need of the St. John's ambulance more than the aid stations. So you do really set yourself up. You train and you prepare. And with online business, you need to equip yourself with knowledge and skills. With a marathon, if you start out too fast, you'll burn out. You sort of pace yourself and you sort of commit to the finish line. Now, there's actually an expression where you, I think commit to the finish line is probably it, but I might be misremembering. But essentially, once it takes all that training and preparation to get to the start line, then it takes guts and courage to actually get to the start line in the first place. But then ultimately, you then go step by step, and you keep moving forward until you reach the finish line. So you do that in a measured way. You keep ensuring that there's forward progress, but as I say, not in a way that you're actually going to burn out, that it's sustainable. And in the same way, you would want to grow sustainably with your business activity and not just look for, I mean, quick wins are nice, but you can't survive just on those. Then obviously along the way, there are obstacles. I mean, you talk about sort of challenges. I mean, the biggest one in running would probably be a hill. And I remember my first marathon, I didn't even, I was training for a flat course. And then at the last minute, because of storm damage, there was a course change, and a hill was actually put into the middle of the whole thing. And I wasn't prepared for it. And that was a huge challenge. But I persisted. My efforts on the day probably weren't quite up there to what I was hoping with the flat course, but the hill appeared unexpectedly. I just kept moving forward and overcame it in whatever way that I could. And that kind of obstacle is going to come up with I'd say online business. So I don't see that. I mean, obviously one's a physical challenge, and with business it might be less physical and more of a sort of resource issue, or sort of a mindset issue and that kind of thing. But ultimately, it's the same sort of mental tools that will get you past these things. I think although endurance sport can often be seen as a solo pursuit, and obviously a solopreneur journey is by definition, you see it as a solo pursuit. But you've got your support crew, and you've got people in the background, and you've got people on event day, and you've got just there cheering you on, supporting you. And I mean, I've actually since the marathon moved into things like ultras, and you cannot underestimate the value of a support crew. You cannot underestimate the value of the people being there, providing fuel, providing resources, providing moral support, encouraging you to keep going when you're ready to quit. So all these kind of things. And again, you look at the online business world. There are communities, and I'm happily part of a community that actually is full of people following their own dreams, and having each other's backs, and so like providing that kind of support in the same way that you might have from the running community. And then I guess ultimately with an event, I mean, the end point of an event is the finish line. As I've discovered in my first ever first marathon, sort of about just about a decade ago, it wasn't just about reaching that finish line in the end. It was actually, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it was the journey to get there. And there was actually an expression that says, "I challenge you to train for and complete a marathon and not have it change your life." And that was very much my experience. And I think that I'm experiencing the same kind of or the same level of personal growth and change by now examining and exploring the world of online business. There are things that come up internally, things that come up within yourself that you have to sort of look at and address, and I guess integrate into yourself and get over and sort of move on. And then like that finish line itself sort of ends up becoming the start line of the next phase. Where you take the lessons that you've learned and then move forward to the next event or the next goal. So with all those sort of similarities, it's actually the expression that I've been using. I can't remember where I first encountered it, to be honest, but I think it sums it up and encapsulates it beautifully. Is the term runpreneur. It's maybe a bit cheesy, but I kind of like those sort of words. And you might be wondering what I mean by that. Well, it's just it's a literal fusion of runner and entrepreneur, runpreneur. But I think it represents quite neatly. I mean, I actually now identify as a runpreneur. So, but I think it sort of sums up those of us who actually see and live these parallels, and draw. Basically, you can draw inspiration from both worlds and feed into each other. You can take lessons learned from the world of running and take that into online business. So I think it's a cute word. I think it's as I say, a cheesy word, but it's something I'm sort of enjoying embracing. So anyway, if you're actually you identify with that term in any way at all, if you're just starting your own journey, or maybe perhaps just contemplating the entrepreneurial path, then I say embrace the runpreneur spirit. It's all about combining, the resilience and determination of a runner with the vision. I guess the vision and the drive and the desire to build something meaningful in the world that is what an entrepreneur is all about. So I think I've probably said enough. It's kind of just bringing together a few of the thoughts I've had about this journey, I guess, generally. So thanks for joining me for the last couple of weeks. We got a little way to go. And if you are on the brink of this type of journey yourself, remember, the same as with a marathon or an ultra or a trail run, that it just one step at a time, and every step you take is actually a step towards achieving your dreams. So here's to the start of something incredible, and I'll talk to you in the next couple of days, and until then, just keep moving forward. Cheers now.